Now this is a quick look at, these are all the current Snatch world records in action. Some of these are actually just the lifters and not the actual world record lift, but these are the exact positions paused in time for the start position at the knees, the power position at the hips, and the overhead receiving position. So for every weight class you can see here the actual lifter, their different body types and mechanics, they're from different countries even, and their positions and styles of lifting. So you can really see, it's nice whatever weight class you're in, you can kind of see maybe someone's got certain limb lengths that are similar to yours, or body types, different leverages because their arms are the same length as yours, something like that. But you can see how they're setting up in positions and how they're transitioning from each point. There's a lot going on in this short amount of time to do the lift, so if you can focus in on being in the right spot at each transition point here, that can really clean up a lot of your lifting. So we've got everyone from the lightest weight class to the heaviest weight class, and you can see really how tight they are in the start position, what things are locked into place, and what they look like. As we go through the pausing sequences on this is the stuff you're looking for. You have the chance to slow your lifter down or yourself down and feel it out and look at it, take a photo or video of it, and you can see, are you anywhere close to these kind of positions? So you got to be locked in, the appropriate extension of the spine, the bar position and center of gravity, and for what that's worth, on all these start positions, you'll see that the bar is touching the lifter's shin. Not that you got to have tight force of the bar into the shin, but it's right, nice and tight. Mastery of that is really where you're grazing the hair off your leg versus really cutting it into yourself. So there's a difference. Then at the knees, what are the mechanics and angles of the knees there? So the knees typically tend to be out, the torso's upright, they tend to be looking up in terms of their eye gaze, their chins tend to be up. Some of them have their mouth closed, some are open. Why is that important? How are you breathing? How are you holding your torso tight, and how are you using your diaphragm? So some people like to close their mouth and hold air, some like to actually have this hollow position that allows them to stay tight. See what works for you. Now at the hips, you see different grips in terms of grip length on the barbell, but you all see them with the bar to the crease of the hips. One thing we'll look at in a second here is where the bar is at on the power position of the hips. It's like the G-spot, I guess, for some people. They can never find it and really see what it's like to really feel that power out of the hips. Some people never truly find that power position and never know what it feels like to actually put the bar in the proper placement there. So all these guys you'll see have at the crease of their hips and almost have a shelf put in place with their hips. From there, you can see how tight they are in their overhead squat position, how low they might get. Do they shift forward on their torso? Where are they putting their head? You'll see a lot of the Asian lifters will tend to look down actually in that part of the lift, and that's the most secure position for their receiving position. But then you can look at things like how wide their feet are from starting to finish and all those sorts of fun things. So there's a lot of great information in each one of these pictures. I like to point out a lot of times, a lot of people that will look at a lot of Russian training methods, and I know a lot of guys are absolutely in love with it. I love it and respect the Russians with the utmost respect, but there's no Russians in this analysis of Snatch world records currently. There are several Chinese, there's a Bulgarian, there's a couple from Belarus, from Greece, but perhaps that's telling of certain issues in certain programming and training concepts. That same point we take into the female side of the fence, however, there are 3 Russians. So on the men's side of the fence, they're not dominating the world like they used to in the Snatch. In the clean and jerk, they still have a few world records left. In the Snatch, the thing about this, when you look at this analysis, there's about 300,000 to upwards of 1 million Russian lifters in the world today. In China, there's about 1 million. So you got a lot more people to play with in terms of who's going to set these world records. But what is happening, you'll see there's a trend of the Chinese women are dominating the entire sport of weightlifting. They own, I believe it's 4 of the 7 world records right now in the Snatch, and it's all the lightweight classes as you go up. So it almost looks like the same person in each one of these photos in each weight class going up. They've got a really characteristic low hip start position. They're really fighting those torsos to be upright, and they're the types that look like they're not even finishing their pull. They hit the hips and they're under the bar with lightning speed at that point. One other interesting thing, this may be important or not, every single one of them wear a belt on the Snatch. I've never been one for wearing the belt on the Snatch personally. I always thought the bar would get in the way, but they are more successful in the sport than I am, so something to consider there. Maybe it's a female thing. I have not seen that too much on the male side of the fence.